This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Outdoor Pro Shop, LLC. Outdoor Pro Shop is a family-owned and operated firearms dealer and sporting goods retailer. They have pay-over-time options, a rewards program, and customer service satisfaction that is unmatched. They might not be the biggest, but they strive to be the best. Contact them today at 240-360-1298 or visit them on the web at www.outdoor-pro-shop.com. That's Outdoor Pro Shop, 240-360-1298. Well, folks, we're back. We've got power, and we've got internet in West Virginia again. We're no longer on the frontier anymore.
It's on now.
Well, don't jinx that because there's a big storm coming back through on Thursday. I was just looking at.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I was looking at some of that today. We've got high winds coming back in, but for now we're good, and we're back on the air. So, everybody,
That's
welcome.
Right.
To On the Limb podcast with Nature's Voice Game Calls. Turkey season opener is Monday, April the 15th. This weekend's youth weekend, so there's going to be a lot of youth in the woods. Good luck on gobblers there. We had to cancel last week because of the tornadoes, making history here in the Knoll Valley. It's been since 1974 since they've had that many tornadoes in West Virginia alone. I think there were 6 of them that hit. We're up to a total of 5 right now just in the Charleston area, I think surrounding area.
Wow.
So
I saw 2. I hadn't seen the others. That's cool. Yeah. I mean, not cool, but you know what I'm saying.
Right.
Still looking into it.
April the 3rd and the 4th was when it hit in 1974, and it happened April the 2nd this year. So
wow.
Now, see, we had one when I was in high school, like in the late 90s. Yeah. We had one hit in Kenna, which is, kind of where I grew up. But.
So just short of the 50-year anniversary for them, the most tornadoes ever hit in West Virginia.
Man, that's wild.
That happened again. So
wow.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah,
they say history repeats itself.
Oh, yeah, they sure do. Yeah. Reminder that Spring Hill Rod and Gun in Charleston, West Virginia, 4961 McCorkle Avenue Southwest. They're open Tuesday through Saturday, and they're closed on Sundays and Mondays. They have our calls, mouth calls, box calls, slate calls. So be sure to go in there and get you some locally handmade West Virginia mouth calls. Episode 95 and 96 are already out. Ryan Burnett with Pattern Pros and the Hunt Chef Wild Flavor segment. Be sure you go and check those out. This episode that we're doing tonight will air the week after next. So be sure to check those out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcast.
All right, now real quick, you mentioned youth hunting weekend, right?
Yes.
So does that mean?
Are you still working, Dan?
Dan sounds like he's working out.
You sounds like you're in a factory there, bud.
Yeah.
Hey, you don't worry about what I got going on here.
Oh, okay.
Well.
But, okay, so, all right.
It's a little hard to hear people talking.
Yeah.
I might be out listening for turkeys.
It doesn't sound like
and
it.
Mushroom hunting. And mushroom hunting at the same time.
I hear echo.
I can't help that.
You're not in a bathroom, are you? Anyway, regardless.
I'm not.
So this youth hunt, what I've heard is that if you have a youth, if you're taking a youth hunting, they don't have to have,
license
or anything like that, right?
As long as they're under the age of 16, I think, or 15.
16, correct.
Yeah, 16. Yep.
Okay.
So here's my thought on this, though. You know how everybody's, nope, I ain't going there. Never mind. Continue.
No, go ahead.
No, it's not good.
What was you going to say?
It's not good, he said.
Oh. It's not good. Leave it alone.
Not going. Okay. All right. So if you have an adult with you, I believe that they still have to tag that in under
Correct.
that child's name.
Under the child's name.
Yeah.
Okay.
because you have to create an account for your child,
Right.
and then that carries over to when they get their license.
Okay.
So
I got you.
I don't know if you have to have the account, because I checked Pacey's deer in last year under my account, but youth tag.
Oh, okay. Well,
So
I don't know if
I think there's that option as well.
yeah, I don't know if you have to. That's just the way I done it, I guess.
Sure.
It went in and
Well, it makes sense.
It makes
he's
sense
going
to go ahead
to
and do
be
it.
continuing on the tradition.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get Matt on here. Please welcome with me Matt Sherman, host of Man vs. Deer on the YouTube channel. Matt, how you doing? Is he
Have I
here?
still got you guys?
Yeah, you're
Hey.
still here. We thought you was gone.
We
there
thought
for a
we
minute.
lost you.
It cut out for just a second. I thought maybe a tornado was coming through.
Oh, man.
Now, don't,
Find shelter.
that's too soon.
Too soon. My
Yeah.
bad, guys. Well, hey, it's great to be on. I appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's good to have you. Appreciate you coming on and joining us this evening.
Yep. So it's been we
So someone's
met there at
listening
the
for
ATA
turkeys
show.
and mushroom hunting, huh?
A little bit.
Yeah, so I guess that's
That's
what
pretty-
I guess that's what Dan's doing now.
Dan's looking for the wrong kind of mushrooms, though, Matt.
You don't worry about what kind of mushrooms I got. There's a lot of farmers' fields up here.
He's not looking for chicken of the woods. Let me just say that.
The little white one.
I am in the cow pasture.
Oh, man. Sorry, everybody.
Hey, speaking of finding things, I know I said it to you, Michael. Did you show that to Dave? My nice little find there yesterday on the job site as I was wandering through the woods looking for mushrooms. I found a nice little nice shed yesterday.
Yeah, that was a nice one. You have to look for the match to it.
Oh, I've been looking. I looked today. I never found it yet, but
Yeah,
I still got some property to cover.
I hear you. So, Matt, tell us a little bit about your YouTube channel, Man vs. Deer.
Okay. I think I got started with it about 3 years ago, and I don't know. I'd always wanted to kind of film hunts, and I just got a wild hair one day and I went to Walmart and bought the cheapest camcorder I could find, and my first ever video I put out was hunting for chanterelle mushrooms and then cooking them. And I just kept doing it, and it got, I started upgrading equipment, and the video quality got better and better, and now it's something that I really just enjoy. I kind of do it for myself. I really like to go back and relive those moments and stuff like that, and it's kind of just became a part of the process over the years. I really do enjoy it. I've learned a lot along the way, and it's definitely cost me some animals. It's a labor of love most of the time, but I have a really good time with it, and it's the biggest reason I do it, is to go back and watch that stuff. I really like reliving those moments. It's kind of cool to see them outside of your head.
Right. So everything you're doing, you're self-filming every hunt you do.
Not every hunt. I've got the Texas hunt we're fixing to talk about. I had a buddy that wanted to come along just to come along. He didn't even really plan on doing any hunting, but he filmed a little bit for me on that one. But I would say about 90% of the time I'm solo and filming everything by myself.
Okay, nice. Talk a little bit about that if you don't care. Like how difficult that kind of is. I mean, there's a lot of prep work and setup, and you got to be at the right place at the right time to get that all on film, right?
Yes, and I've learned a lot about it over the years, and it's definitely cost me some animals. And I've got to the point now where I won't, there's certain things I won't do. Like if there's a big buck in front of me, I'll lose some camera footage before I'll let a big buck pass by me. Turkeys and does and stuff like that, I'll really wait till I can get something good on camera before I'll harvest one of those. But I run a Canon G50 for my main camcorder, and I kind of designate that as like an animal camera, right? It's
Okay.
gonna be pointing at the turkey or the deer or whatever I'm chasing. It's got a really good zoom and good video quality. I run a GoPro Hero 9 Black for kind of like my second angle that I usually put on myself. And then I do a lot of my talking and walking in footage and stuff with that. And then I've got an older, it's a GoPro Hero 7. And I actually found a mountain bike mount for a GoPro that works on gun barrels and bow stabilizers. And I use that just in case my big camera gets bumped or it doesn't get turned on in time, or I'm pinned down and I can't use it. I've always got the kill shot. on that second little GoPro. And between those 3 cameras, I'm able to do what I feel like is a pretty good job capturing most of those hunts.
Sure, definitely sounds like it.
So, was you able to connect on that turkey hunt?
What was that?
Was you able to land one on that turkey hunt in Texas?
I did, and it was the easiest turkey hunt I've ever had in my life. I'm not a lucky person. If my name was in a hat, they'd draw the tag. I always tell people that. And I usually have to grind my birds out. I'll kill one at the end of the first week, and then my second bird, because Missouri, we're a 2-bird state, but you can only get 1 bird in the first week, and then you got to get your second bird. You got to wait for the second week to start. And the last 3 years in a row, I've killed my bird on either the second to last day or the last day mid-morning, like pretty close to the buzzer, because we've only been able to hunt till noon historically.
Yeah, they just changed that this year, correct? You can hunt all day now. Because I just picked up my Missouri license. I'm out here working right now, and I plan on killing some of y'all's birds.
Yes. Now I said noon earlier. It's 1 p.m. that the cutoff date is. They changed that for private. So if you've got access to private lands, you can hunt all day. On our public lands, you still got to shut it off at 1.
Oh, okay. So I missed that. Okay, well, that's great information to know then.
Yes, sir. One of my buddies had to tell me that too, because I don't read nothing.
Yeah, well, some of the guys from out here, they're from here, and he was like, "Yeah, they just changed that," and he didn't mention the private land either. But I've got some access to some private land right now, so we'll be all right.
And we've got a good hatch, at least in my area. I'm in the southwest area, and we had a really, really good hatch this year. And the birds are just everywhere compared to years past. So you ought to have a good experience, I would think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we've heard quite a few, seen quite a few, just to the job site and everything. So we got some areas right around here we're going to be hunting.
What area are you guys going to be in? Are you southern, middle of Missouri, northern?
Kind of middle. We're north of 70, so I guess that would be kind of middle, northern middle.
Okay. Yeah, that's a really, like, our deer up there are quite a bit bigger than the deer where I'm at. You get close to that Iowa line and everything gets bigger, it seems like.
Right. Yeah, I've seen that from that shed. Plus, we've seen several of them still with antlers on.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. That's extremely insane. I just got a message from a buddy of mine. He's like, "Man, I just seen a 4-point and a spike chasing does in March." It's like, that doesn't make sense.
Those must be Alabama deer transplanted or something.
Actually, Arizona deer.
Arizona deer.
Yeah. So while you was on that Texas hunt, you got to do a little bit of extracurriculars there, didn't you?
Yeah. So the place I went, it's called Sand Fork Hog Hunting Ranch, and a couple of years ago, actually, I was looking into a hog hunt, and I just happened to notice when I was looking at his stuff that he does a limited number of Rio hunts every year. And he'll only take 6 people out, or allow 6 people to hunt, his places he has access to, because he wants to keep, good quality hunting and not, he wants to manage his bird population, which I respect. And I just happened to reach out about, what that entailed. And it ended up being like a really good deal for me, and the dates worked out. So I ended up booking with those guys, and it was a Texas Rio hunt. And if you got the opportunity, you got to shoot 2 hogs while you were down there.
Nice. Did you connect on some hogs?
I did. I ended up shooting 2 hogs. I took my bow down there to shoot the hogs with, and because I've killed hogs before, but I've never used a bow, and he had some good blind setups and feeders for archery equipment. So when and where I can use my bow, I always like to. And I just got a new bear bow. I got a Bear Execute 30, and I had I haven't, that was the first animal that I've been able to harvest with it, so I was pretty excited to get that out and let some arrows fly.
Hello, Dan, you there?
Yeah.
Hey, I got you guys back again.
Did we lose you?
Yeah. No, I'm back. I don't know what happened. It just went blank.
I was hearing everything.
I heard outside noises, but that was it.
All right. Anyhow, back to it. That was weird.
So you on this turkey hunt, it was pretty much fast go round about things. You drove how how many hours to get there, and after the hunt, you drove right back? Because we were going to do the podcast there on, I believe it was Wednesday night.
Yes, so my hunt dates were the 2nd through the 6th down there, and the hog hunting takes place on the Sand Fork Ranch, which is about 200 acres of, mesquite thickets and different, like red dirt grass type areas. And then the turkey hunting takes place they lease a bunch of land. It's like 85,000 acres or so. A lot of it's wheat fields, and then there's mesquite thickets, and I don't know the technical terms for all the brush down there. It's just kind of short and prickly compared to what I'm used to up here. We left, I think, at 1 a.m. the night before we were going to hunt. We drove all night, got there in the morning, kind of got set up. And, Jesse, the guy that came with me, he shot his rifle a little bit to make sure it was still on. He hog hunted with a rifle. I shot my bow to make sure that everything was still good there because it's still relatively new to me. We hog hunted that night, and I shot 2 hogs. He shot 1. And then the next morning, we went out for turkeys. They had some cell cameras out and had a few spots where they knew that turkeys were kind of in the area. And when we got there, there was one hammering. And so we set up on that bird and killed him that morning. Stayed around camp, and I actually a big part of what I do on my YouTube channel is catch, clean, cook stuff. I like to show the cleaning and the cooking side of wild game, which is kind of what drew me to that Hunt Chef booth where I met you guys at the ATA show.
Sure.
And so I stayed around camp. There was probably 4 or 5 other guys at that lodge there, and I cooked up a bunch of I marinated some hog steaks in like a hickory marinade and fried those up, or not fried them, grilled them. And then I cooked one of the turkey breasts on that mesquite grill as well and kind of sliced it up and made some barbecue sandwiches. So we kind of hung out there for the rest of the day and then headed home that night. So I think we was back late Wednesday morning.
Nice.
So started Tuesday night. Yeah. Which, I mean, I was supposed to hunt more days than that, but Bryce, the guy who owns the Sand Fork Ranch, he's got a really, really nice setup for hogs. And then on the turkey, I'm just going to tell you, we got, a little bit of luck played into that. I've never had one happen that fast.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty good that it happened that quick. You wasn't expecting that?
No. Like I said, most of my turkey hunting is a grind. I'm more like when I kill birds, it's usually, between 11 to 1. I typically like to find out where the birds are gobbling, and I'll try to call them to me at fly down, but it always seems like they have hens with them or a hen, gets in between us or something like that.
Yeah.
And typically I'll just kind of hang around in that area, creeping around, and one of those birds will get lonely and fire off, and I'll make a move there, and I kill a lot of my birds mid-morning that way when they get lonely at the later part of the morning. So I was expecting, something like that. This bird, he probably gobbled about 100 times before.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it was insane. And I filmed most of this, so as that YouTube video comes out, people will be able to see it. But we got there, and they had been getting pictures of these turkeys on the edge of this big wheat field. But the wheat was pretty tall and green. It would have been hard for a turkey to walk through. And where we were walking up to it, it was this red dirt 2-track. And there was kind of some thicker, mesquite or whatever kind of trees there are down there, They're real short and they're thick. They're hard to walk through. But they're, on either side of that road, it was really thick. And there was a bird off down that road kind of hammering. And I decided I wanted to set up on that 2-track because I was thinking, probably going to fly down and walk right down that road. It's the easiest way to get through there. And I didn't think they were going to walk through that weed. It was really tall and hard to get through, and stuff could hide in it. And I know that when the grass gets real tall around here, that second and third week, that they don't like it. They'll kind of avoid it, especially in the morning because it's real wet. And so I decided I wanted to set up on that 2-track. So we set up on that 2-track, and I did a little bit of calling him while he was on the limb, and just everything I threw at him, he was double and triple gobble. It was insane. And I set my decoys. It wasn't an ideal setup. We were setting against trees that were really small because the trees there are all short. We did have a little bit of higher vegetation around us, which helped a little bit. But basically, I tucked about 10 yards off of that 2-track, I had 2 decoys. I run a funky chicken and a feeding hen. I put 2 decoys out on that 2-track, probably about 20 steps in front of me and didn't have very good visibility. I was going to have to call him basically right in front of me to kill him, and started calling on the limb. He was answering everything I had, and it was way too dark for a turkey to fly down. At least here, they don't fly down until it's well into daylight. In fact, the camera light is a good indicator of that, because my GoPro, the lighting on it is terrible, and I've never killed a turkey where I couldn't see myself in my GoPro. Well, we heard a gobble that was a lot closer to us, and we hadn't heard any other birds up until this point. And my buddy, he goes, "Hey, I think that bird's getting really close." And I said, "That's got to be a different one. It's way too early for that bird to have flown down." And so I called again, and it sounded even closer. And about, I don't know, probably 30 seconds later, I'll be danged if that sucker wasn't walking right down the road at full strut, gobbling his head off. And then,
Wow.
yeah, just like he was on a string. And he kind of got cautious as he approached the decoys, so I started doing some soft, like, bubble clucks and purrs and stuff like that. And he probably stayed just to the right of our setup for, I would say, about 5 minutes, just kind of looking at it, strutting back and forth. And I had a chance to kill him at about 40 yards, but he wasn't doing anything that indicated that he wasn't going to come on in. And I don't like to shoot that far if I don't have to. I can. I've done it before, but I don't like to. And plus, I like to watch them work. And if they're going to come in and beat on my decoys, everyone likes to watch that. So
Absolutely.
I let him keep coming.
Yep.
Between the gap where I could have shot him and our decoys was a lot of some really thick brush and some cactus looking stuff. And I could see his head working through that, and he popped out on the other side after, like I said, about 5 minutes of being a little bit cautious, and never did try to, like, attack the decoy or anything like that. And when I seen that he wasn't going to put on any more of a show, I let him have it. And I'm going to tell you, everyone says this, but that shot was at 20 steps and it almost took his head off. And when I say that, I mean that there was only a little bit of skin holding his head together. It went through everything else but a little bit of skin on the back. Like it.
Wow.
And you'll see that in the video. It literally almost took his head off. I was using long beards with number 4 shot, and then I had a Jeb's choke. And I really haven't ever killed a turkey that close, but it literally almost took his head off. He didn't even flop when he hit the ground. It just, like, the lights went out. It was a pretty cool experience.
That's amazing.
Well, Matt, we got to take a quick break from one of our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Sounds good.
Do you want durable 100% carbon fiber arrows? Warhead Arrow Company. Warhead Arrow Company is 100% carbon fiber constructed hunting arrows with bone-shattering penetration. Durable, tough, yet reliable when it comes to the moment of truth. Their target arrows are world-class in accuracy and precision, an arrow that target archers can depend on to reach the top of their game. Warhead Arrow Company. Check them out today at warheadarrowco.com. That's Warhead Arrow Company. warheadarrowco.com. All right, guys, we're back.
So, well, we're back real quick before we get into the rest of this here. Let's go ahead and do our salute to valor for this evening. So this evening we're going to salute Ryan Burnett Kirkland from Washington. He was a United States Marine Corps. He was a sergeant. He served 8 years in the Marine Corps, which, as a Marine, they're a Marine for life. Once you're a Marine, you're a Marine forever. But he was stationed in I'm going to apologize beforehand to our great friends we met at the ATA from Hawaii, because I don't know how to say this. Kaneohe Bay, Hawaii. And he was also stationed in Camp Pendleton, California. He did 3 tours of duty to the Pacific Theater. He was discharged in June of 2001. He was awarded 3 Sea Service Deployment Ribbons, Korean Defense Service Ribbon. So we'd like to thank him for his service and his deployments there to the Pacific. It's a great attribute to be able to say, hey, I was deployed. This man was deployed 3 times. So that's impressive.
For sure. Thank you, Ryan, for your service. We sure appreciate
thank you.
it. God bless you, sir.
God bless.
All right, Matt. Well, we know you got to run, man. It's been great talking to you. We had a couple more points that we wanted to hit, but we'll get you back on for another episode. I know you got something to do there, so we sure appreciate you coming on.
Hey, I appreciate you guys having me. Our season in Missouri kicks off on the 15th too, so I'm
Awesome.
sure next time we chat, we'll be able to swap some stories.
Yeah, for
Yes,
sure.
it does.
We'll get back with you for sure. All right, guys. Y'all have a good evening. Thanks for listening. Be sure to check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcast. Have a good one. This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Longspur Tracking and Outfitting. Longspur has 28 trackers covering 9 states: West Virginia, Ohio, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Illinois, and Iowa. Check them out for all your tracking needs on their Facebook page or visit them at www.whitetaildeertracking.com. Or contact them today at 304-439-1659. Longspur Tracking and Outfitting. www.whitetaildeertracking.com or 304-439-1659. Contact them today.